fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What people do in no money, what they at you, in no at you. Covid money, miss away in the yellow rat you. Use the youth, them money, waste my must have mantis statue. Say me like a catch you, but they got in a figure you. Take this spit of money, God and say that is not you. One day the man above him up, him a got stop you. Too much it in the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% free.
It burn me.
Garbage pile up the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption peace.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in a whatever. Member bowl only and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start and people themselves.
It burn me.
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the son man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
Or them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't.
Stibby dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Shopkeeper morning shopkeeper. Let me have a can of managed water there now, please. In fact, give me a can of curry goat as well. I want to taste it too. What a load of cobblers. What a load of cobblers. Tin managed water. Tin curry goat. Wanna burn the curry in a garlic? Wanna burn the curry in a garlic? What a load of cobblers. Tin curry goat. Tin managed water. You know that eat it? Everybody on the walk can eat from so. That's when I got eat tin curry goat. Tin managed water. Look how much fruits we have waste a year time. Why when I don't try tin with fruits them and preserve them longer? Tin curry goat. Why don't you want to preserve curry goats? Who tell you to say a Chinese dog and Chinese donkey you know buy? Who is willing to eat this tin curry goat and this tin managed water? No, sir. Cobblers and everything going at tin. I do everything for going at tin. We know how to cook curry goat and managed water, and the only part we cook here we had. Curry goat is our mutton is available to buy when you want it for cook. But then again, when I cook for the lazies, so never mind. Morning, how do you do? Welcome. Good morning to my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers and subscribers, commenters and trolls. Good morning. Natalia Freeman, good morning. Elaine Turner, Debbie Jervis. Good morning. Annie Jones, Michelle Lewis Wilson, Paula Shelley. Sunshine, Gloria Morris, Herbert Tizelin, Violet Watson, Miranda Roddick, Yvonne Riley, Bros, Sharon Bernard, Cousin Rohan, Wagwan. Cousin Jamie, morning, Wagwan. You get no update? Text me if you get no update. Miranda Roddick. Phil Lyon. Cousin Myrna, are you listening? You know you did try to listen yesterday, man, but your internet never strong enough. Christopher Murray. EM. Marjorie Goburn. I hope I haven't damaged your last name. Tony Tall. Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Who me fi start pan first? Althea. Who me fi start pan first? Fly Green and them one where I do 10 curry goat. Who me fi start pan first? I could listen to Fly and the celebrated 10 curry goat and 10 manish water. Hold on there. Hold on there. Hold on there.
I want to commend Triple C Manufacturing Limited on the launch of this innovative, creative, and truly groundbreaking line of canned food. And again, agriculture is. And what we see here is a testament to commitment to agriculture, commitment to enterprise, it's a testament to hard work, it's a testament for thinking about how can you come up with new things that can move Jamaica forward. It's a testament to food security. And we all will have to think about if the world closes borders again, what will we eat and how will it be prepared? And products of this nature are exactly what we will have to focus more attention on. It's a testament of how creative we are. And clearly, as you have heard, it's also a testament of a good love story. As the world evolves, convenience becomes almost non-negotiable. People are looking for ready-to-eat products, things that they can get what the world is clamoring for. And I remember that there was a time that people said, canned akis won't work. That nobody now go on a canned aki. Put aki in a can, no sir. Obviously the aki come out of the pot. No, we export over 30 million United States dollars each year.
This product has been in the making from 2009, where we actually, in collaboration with SRC, launched the canned management. Challenges were there. We overcome those challenges and we're relaunching that. From the canned management water, now we actually go into the canned curry goods.
An initiative by Colin and his team to have 10 curry goat and 10 managed water. These are probably two of the most favorite Jamaican meals, and if you can tin this, provide the opportunity for export, because there are as many Jamaicans outside of Jamaica who would love products like this.
The chef, whoever formulated this curry goat, they can really, really cook. They got that level of spice, you know, where it's the pepper, you taste the real Scotch bonnet pepper with the curry flavor and their little specks of carrot and stuff. You Yeah, man, it's a real way how Jamaicans, the curry goat, they got it down to a T.
It has been a great experience. I have tasted it more than once, and as far as I'm concerned, restaurants and other places that normally do curry goat, they have to watch out because this is really authentic Jamaican curry goat.
The authentic Jamaican curry goat. Look here, sir. We come from two set of family who are kings and queens of the kitchen. We cook very well. We know how to cook curry goat. We know how to burn with curry and with garlic in an aisle and cook with curry goat, sir. All right? So excuse we panda one day. Excuse we panda one day. Pamela Akola, good morning. Andrea. Kevin Davis. Joe Joya. The Easy Jerk World. Well gone, bro. Come on, people. Like up the live, please. Yvonne Johnson. Like up the live. We'll soon start name Curry Dog and Curry Donkey. Abena Sarkodi. Noreen Dennison. Kareem Wilson. We'll soon start name Sinting the Dog. But call the Dunce retired Justice Pantan. And call the commissioners at the Integrity Commission. Let me explain to them how to explain to a 4-year-old. When you're coming out with a quarterbacking explanation, really don't do anything. It just shows the corruption, the swelter of corruption at the Integrity Commission. We never even cue the media release. But you all are aware of a media release from the Integrity Commission where they must say, we, everybody in a media land, read the report inaccurate, feline, Lilith Lockerbie. Like, really? Devon Blake. Did we all see 2 and shouldn't call it 8? Or, all right, we're wait from last year, them tell we about 6, yeah? Everybody was waiting in anticipation for this year's annual report. We were hoping, unless all our way done, that in this year's annual report, we would have had an update on the illicit 6 we were told about in last year's report, or at least, or we were also expecting to have the names of those 6 that was mentioned in the previous year report. Now, Patricia Matthews, how are you? Now, on page 32, where they told us in this year report, Keith Matthews, that 2 parliamentarians is under investigation for illicit enrichment and 4 public officials. Tell me how else we should read it without any explanation from you, aggregating from last report to this report. How else should we read it? One never said there is 2 additional parliamentarian referred to for illicit enrichment investigation. Simone Bedford Master Thomas. So we, the reader of the report, would seem to think that the 6 has whittled down to 4. And so everybody get it. One never said it must be read separately from last year's report. One never give no instruction in the report that these are additional. So we never read it wrong, Sonia Foster. We read it how it was written. it writes it 2. And it sparked a frenzy because we were waiting for an update on the 6th. And then to see 2 on paper without further clarity that these 2 are new, total in amount to 8 now being referred, we are going to read it that way. Uno write the report misleading. Otherwise, Uno wouldn't have to come out, come correct it, and make we know, say, no, those 6 are still under investigation. But at what point, though, or will we ever get to know who they are? Will they ever be prosecuted? Sharon Peart, will they ever be prosecuted? Yeah. So nobody got it wrong. Neither mainstream media or social media. We understood what the report said. The report said 2 parliamentarians. It never tell us it's 2 additional to the 6 that was there. Otherwise, I would have to come out, come clarify it in the report. So I only write the report misleading. Nobody never put out false information or false narrative. Or if it falls, it comes from Uno. Annette Thompson, good morning. Justice Pantanino saying Georgia, he's a retired Court of Appeal judge who understands it. When you write judgment or report, it must be written with clarity. Page 32, Justice Pantan, wasn't written with the clarity for the public to understand. So don't blame us in public that we put out inaccurate information. No, Millicent Jones, we spoke of the number in the report and we started questioning why 2 but not 6, which we were already told about. Christine Gilbert, morning. So don't come out and blame us. If the report was stated correctly, you would have pointed to us in the report where the clarification was. One wouldn't have to come out and make it on paper. But the question still remains, is the Integrity Commission fit for purpose? Should Jamaica taxpayers still be paying for an organization which cannot bring corruption they're investigating to a resolve? Prime Minister, when Prime Minister, in this back and forth love lettering, Agency Driver 5, Wagwan, in this back and forth love lettering between yourself and the Integrity Commission, what are they asking for that you have not or cannot provide? What have they asked for, Prime Minister? I want to call Daniel Archer, make a jape up Daniel Archer this morning for stop come out here with the hope of chatting Daniel Archer and go and be proactive. Come and tell us, Daniel Archer, and let me deal with the Prime Minister first. What is stopping you from providing the Integrity Commission with what they're asking for every time them write to you and you write back to them? What them ask for what you can't provide is a holder or you are waiting on to give to them. And have you, Prime Minister, and this to the Integrity Commission, have the Prime Minister been levied a fine for late submission or outstanding submission. Because when you did that to Dwayne Vance, did you not? Done it, Warner. How you doing? How you doing, my friend? Did you not, Prime Minister? Did you not, Integrity Commission? Why can't you apply what was applied to Dwayne Vaz, to Andrew Holness? So, corrupt, everything I show that the Integrity corrupt, the Commission corrupt. The foot dragging over the six, what we will probably never hear about. When we are going to hear who the other two be. So uno just walk and find the thief them, but nobody can find out. Yes, because the law gags the commission. But come here, Daniel Archer, and the other one them, we attack. Have you taken a case to the Constitutional Court in order to test the validity of the gag clause in the Integrity Commission Act? If you have not initiated a case in the court, Daniel Archer, shut up. Shut up, woman. Shut up. Because a lot of Satans working with the system only come out here to come talk to make we think we can do something. Now, Daniel Archer, you and I both have legal training. You and I know, Daniel Archer, that the Constitution is the superior law. An act of Parliament, Miss Archer, is subordinate to the Constitution. Therefore, any act passed by Parliament, such group as Daniel Archer, the opposition, any interested group in Jamaica, Jamaicans for Justice, JAMP, whatever they call them, can take a case to the Constitutional Court to test the validity of the gag clause. If you have not done so, Daniel Archer, shut up. Because that is what is needed. Parliament put it there to protect themselves, them now go move it. In separation of power, Miss Archer, you should know. Make an application to the court to test the validity of the gag clause. Rather than every minute to come on TV and attack and attack and attack. What I do? Pretty face and pretty talk. Nobody no want to hear you. Nobody no want to hear your bag about Daniel Archer. Go and test it in the court. Shavadai, how are you? Go and test it in the court, Miss Archer. Tired of your mouth, come out every day. They should move the gag clause. They should move the gag clause. Test it in the court. Does it violate the Constitution? Test it in the court. Larry Beckford, and stop come out here, Daniel Archer. Come show yourself on TV every day because that's all you want to do. Ralston Henry. That's all you want to do, Miss Archer. Come out, come have pretty interview every day. Test it in the court. Does that clause contravene the Constitution? Does it contravene access to information? Does it contravene the public interest to know? Miss Archer, go and take a case to the court and shut up. You and that other one, what's your name? The other one, fan jump or whatever they call it. Shut up. And Miguel, what's it or other your name from Jamaicans for Justice? Danet Harriet. Stop it. Stop come out every minute in a media with no pretty talk and not do anything. You have legal knowledge. You're an attorney. You should know you can challenge an act of Parliament against the Constitution. Do that and shut up, Miss Archer. Enough of you on your interview. You've been on this interview for long. Do it in the court. If you mean well, If you want to have it removed, do it in the court. Let the court decide if that clause is constitutional. And stop every minute, come out with the hope of useless interview, come out, attack every minute. They should remove the God clause, mural king. Them now go move it. Go to the court. You notice anything, any executive order from the president in America, any act, any legislation from Congress was certain in group I not agree with, they test it in the Supreme Court. They test it in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court can strike it down or they can uphold it. Daniel Archer must stop the whole heap of talking. The whole of talking coming from Daniel Archer doing nothing. The whole of media interview from Daniel Archer is doing nothing. If Daniel Archer wants to have it moved, test it in the court, Miss Archer. And stop every minute. Come out and a blab and a blab and a blab and not doing anything to help the people. Sifu Francis. Not doing anything to help the people. So stop the whole heap of blabbing, Miss Archer, and take a case to court. Take a case to the Constitutional Court to test the validity of the gag clause in the Integrity Commission Act. You jump out on TV with interview every minute, does nothing. Nobody not listening to you. It does nothing. And that the Constitutional Court therefore. That is why the Constitutional Court is there. So rather than every minute you jump out for the next interview wherever you can, test it in the court. Make we say you mean something and you want to do something. Enough for you on the knives now, Miss Archer. Fed up are you on it. Fed up are you on the old kerosene pan where you knock it, bend up and gone out at you now. Take a case to the court. Test it in the Constitutional Court. Make us sound serious about something. Because all I'm interested in is to come on TV. That's all, you know. The Desmond McKenzie and the Tiffin, Pernell Charles Tiffin, boy, and them three, because the three of them, they are blob yesterday, you know. They were blobbing yesterday. The three of them, then they are walking and tell story yesterday. We don't go and have to listen to them, because you can't carry news them way there. But they're saying things. But amid their saying things, this is still happening.
I see you just on the Congo Wall Road. 75% of the whole stop them gone. Furniture, mash up everything. All vehicle mash up down in there. So we are look some help from any source at all. We can get the help. We need the help. There are some people don't have not even the spot with their house. The day. Everything gone. Shop gone. Animal gone, fowl coop, goat pen, everything, you name it. From a barn come has sense. I first ever see this happening over South St. Elizabeth. Yeah. So anywhere we can get the help, brother. Enough people are suffering. Enough people don't have nowhere to sleep tonight. Enough people house, when you look on it, all you can see is the top. No roof at all, not the panny, they don't know where to sleep. And I like say people don't need help. People need help, so we need government and whoever people source we can reach out and help people. People need help, man. It don't make no sense. And at this time and this situation here where people, you know. Right now, from the storm last week, we should have seen more people that come around, you know. You not even see one JPS man, you know, see one floor man, you don't see nobody who say from the government side that people do something to poor people them and help them. If I did election, you see everybody come by your doorstep and if you
no matter what they stand behind the podium and talk, say, No matter what in talks upon TV, none of what they're saying is not reflective on the ground. I'm not saying there isn't help going out there from the government, but given what has happened, it is woefully inadequate. Don Fox, Kevin Dyer. To answer your question, Kevin, it's the other way around. Samoa, the signing of Samoa will shut down the Buggery law. What they will do is first start with a decriminalizing process, and over time with them development of hate speech and gender neutrality, then they'll wrap it all up how they want to wrap it up. But it's really the other way around. Samoa is going to shut down the Buggery law in Jamaica. That's how it's going to happen. You would want to think that it could happen the other way around, but yeah, that the way it's going to happen is the Buggery law is going to get struck down because of all these new equality implementation that they would have to do because of the Samoa signing. So that's more likely the route that it will take. Where you say, cousin, then if you go outside because that is for the people and we can cook curry goat. No, sir. And how much tin of curry goat would the family need to buy, Mr. Green? Evan Green, how are you? How much tin curry goat we would have to buy upon Sunday, Raymond G? Thank you very much, Raymond. Yes, we are at 15K subscribers and growing. To those of you silent viewers who have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. The family door is open. You can enter. Thank you all very much. Iris Copeland. Marcia Garnett. Jem Ashley. Karen Namad. Morning, Shelly Karan. How are you? How are you, Hot Tea? Good morning and welcome. How you doing? No matter what them I say, the relief effort on the ground is not moving fast enough. And this is lack of proper preparedness. Adolph Dunn, Sandra, how are you? Run one list. Me hear them talk about what them are going to learn from this hurricane and what them are going. What have you learned from Gilbert and Ivan? But me can't this come for come show no Jamaica. Say, honestly, that's why I don't know if piss on the roadside of Jamaica. Because even piss can wash off the Celica tarmac. Honestly, how the tarmac on the road thin. We roadway them don't good, you know. We roadway them really, Norman Ferguson, JC, don't good. Look at the state. You can't just take your fingernail and scratch off with asphalt. That's why we pothole them so rigorous, and that's why them always come back in the same spot. Because Band-Aid upon gangrene. Colleen James. Band-Aid on gangrene. That's why we pothole them reoccur days after them fix because you just need to piss on them and it gone again. Nothing now do good in our country. Nothing at all. All of the money just going to waste. But me could tap into some of the nice talking. Because we love nice talking, you know. Just like how the Dunce Integrity Commission, the Dunce Justice Pantan, the pretty Miss Ellis, uno tell we say 2, and then uno one we the Dunce figure read say 8. So no say some number confuse me. Then when we come out and now come talk say 2 is 8. I mean the fool. 2 is 8. And me are the fool.
Close to 800, over 700 tarpaulins, and there's.
Me never get the whole of it. I wish part me book them up from my thought record. So all I know have to do, listen and write down. Because we are collecting. We're tally up, we're collect, and we're write down.
Assessments have been done. There is much, much more needed. Let me just state that. We understand that. And there are several communities and households that will hear me and say, but you're saying all of this and we haven't seen you. It has been a difficult task. I myself have been on a street providing relief, returned to that street the next day to hear multiple persons say, we haven't seen you, where have you been? And we did distribution on that exact street. And one of the reasons is the team is moving as fast as it can. So if you are not there, they may...
Hold on there, sir. The one total social worker will walk through one whole constituency and write down name, because when me ask the people in my community who come there, me go hear says people come write down name, and a few department to walk and write down name department.
May not be able to provide the support to you, but they will return. The effort is to get across the network and to utilize as many community leaders as possible, to work with the members of parliament, who I know some have said, listen, we're not hearing from the teams. That's because of the difficulty in terms of communication. I myself have tried to call some, they've tried to call me. And
all right, here I'm going to go after the Prime Minister election campaign. The Prime Minister's election optics. Hours before the hurricane, the Prime Minister could be seen in a rain cloak hoodie canvassing around the place. Robin, how are you? Immediately, me never have no problem with that much, sir, the Prime Minister. Immediately after the disaster, and I'm going to use the British term, when the Prime Minister should be having his emergency COBRA meeting to manage and organize the disaster, the Prime Minister was flying around the country where he had no access to communicate with any of his cabinet members, where at this time the big meeting and the big decisions should be making. Wasn't that an election ploy? Flying around the country, Prime Minister, when you should be sitting down having the big argument, how much funding we are going to give here, how much manpower and equipment and logistics we're going to put in this area, how much relief effort we're going to put in this area. Prime Minister, you did not do that. You flew around the country and able to communicate with your team to coordinate the relief effort. And then up until now, Prime Minister, all of them 4 million, 5 million, 12 million you promised, the people them, up until Tuesday, the MPs them, still they have it. But 4 million is being given to deal with shelter recovery, economic something or other, and something else another. But the money, because that was what Angela Brown Burke and Miguel Phillips was saying in Parliament. We don't get the okay figure take out a line of credit there so yet. Call the money launderer. Who is he? Leaching. Chief of the money launderers. Because we know Sir Nigel are chief of the crooks. The Prime Minister is chief of the thieves. And you, Leaching, is chief of the launderers. Warrell Reid is chief of the takers. Because all when criminal prosecution to be initiated against Warrell Reid still a win civil claim and an enrich himself by millions. The people of Jamaica are suffer in many ways Let me tell you where I go on in my district at the moment. We're from a fishing community where a lot of the women them in our community have whole heap of fish. And either it's spoiled or you buy a generator. But that generator is breeding my community at the moment. Andrew Holness. I don't know, say, we're not going to get electricity no time soon. To run your generator, if you're running business in the fishing industry or other businesses which you need to keep things cool, chilled, or frozen, and you have to run your generator for at least 120 hours, if you want 20 hours for the day, it costs you $4,000 per day for gas to run your generator. My community is left in a pickle as to, do we buy gas for the generator or do we buy a few sheets of zinc? Even police stations don't have generator. But we were prepared, Prime Minister. Hold on a second. We were prepared. How could we be prepared when you should be having the big meetings, Prime Minister, to coordinate the operations of the relief effort, how it will be financed, when you and the Minister of Finance and the rest of your cabinet should be sitting down, Prime Minister, you were flying around the country where you couldn't even communicate, you couldn't get a message from town, you couldn't get an email, you couldn't get a phone call. How does that flying around the country, shaking hand, Prime Minister? To come and tell us on the election campaign, I was the first one there out there with you on the ground. I was first on the ground with you after the storm, because even though I love the poor, I hate poverty. This is why we are a caring government, because when the storm come and the rest of them are look shelter, this government came to visit you as the storm passes by. It's your election campaign, Prime Minister. But is the people on the ground getting the relief they ought to? Brenda, I'm Rick. How you do? Emric Lambert, morning. It's all about your election ploy. So we're going to see them. We're going to see them in your election campaign where you grown. You're going to uptick yourself, grown and shake people hand, Michael Henriquez. You're going to have yourself a fly in an helicopter and a look upon Jamaica. Your damage assessment that you went around the country and did, Prime Minister. Your handshaking you went around the country and did nothing to help the people of Jamaica. You should be in Kingston at that time. If you want to go and visit the people, make sure the relief effort is coordinated. James, Georgette Brown. You never did that, Prime Minister. There wasn't any proper preparedness done in relation to how we're going to deal with the recovery after the storm. That's why everything is chaotic. That's why people out there is calling for help, Untainted Kangal. Why are you not asking for international help? Why, when you're talking to international partners, you make it look like it's okay and it's manageable?
Once I'm below Hayes, I'm out. When the Prime Minister came on the tour with us, there was just no communication that could go to him. So we had to actually get him out as quickly as possible, because he had been in our zone for several hours without being able to receive
or give any communication. So that in itself was a challenge. So the situation for us is ongoing, it is evolving, and we ask that you be patient and understanding, particularly with the officers who are interacting with you. They are engaging with multiple persons, and I know you are frustrated. They themselves are absorbing all of your pain. And so I just ask for your understanding as you interact with the social workers. In Kingston and St. Andrew, flooding was reported, particularly in the New Haven and Burger Gully, where multiple houses were affected. 37 shelters were opened, housing 357 persons, with only one shelter remaining active at Friendship Brook. Bulk food supplies were provided to marooned communities in Hall's Delight and Westphalia, as well as 2 shelters at the National Arena. In St. Thomas, 8 shelters housing 176 persons. The household damage assessments are ongoing in that area in multiple communities, with significant relief supplies already distributed, 789 food packages, 50 tarpaulins, and 8 mattresses. Of course, these figures are evolving, because even now as we speak, our team is on the ground. In Portland, we saw 26 houses sustaining roof damage, 1 completely destroyed, and there are several others that we have not yet been able to assess. Ongoing assessments are ongoing, and distributions are also in progress across numerous communities.
You hear that cough, which you will hear several of them. That comes in psychology when one's lying.
So far, in those areas, up to 100 food packages, tarpaulins, more than 20 tarpaulins, and mattresses and hygiene packages have also been distributed. In St. Mary, we've seen extensive damage reported across several communities, with 407 assessments completed as at the date of this report, and substantial relief supplies distributed.
I hope you don't write down, no, so me can't do nothing in numbers. I hope you don't write down what you hear.
Distributed 200 food packages, more than 40 tarpaulins, mattresses, hygiene kits as well there. In St. Anne, we saw minimal damage to houses being reported, but we had greater impact on the farmlands. Relief supplies have been distributed there, as well as assessments been ongoing, and 300 food packages. For Trelawney, multiple communities are now under assessment, with 95 being completed and significant supplies already distributed. We have on record more than 400.
Can you quantify significance, sir? Quantify it.
Food packages being distributed in those areas. For St. James, 23 shelters were opened, housing 176 persons. Assessments continue in that area, with considerable relief supplies being distributed, more than 200 food packages. In Hanover, there are ongoing assessments and distributions which are in progress there, with significant challenges due to the disruptions in electricity and telecommunications across some parishes, but particularly Hanover as well, and more than 300 food packages as of this report. For Westmoreland, we had 332 food packages being issued, 160 assessments having been completed despite the adverse conditions there, and more than 250 food packages. For St. Elizabeth, there's a difficulty in just traversing the area. So there has been a total of close to 100 assessments completed, many more now being done, more than 400 food packages distributed, along with over 300 tarpaulins, 150 mattresses, blankets, hygiene kits, and of course the most urgent need for bedding and tarpaulins is in that area and Clarendon. Assessments there are ongoing. I wanted to stop there to say that there is a significant difficulty in traversing some of the areas. So we are getting the assistance of JDF, of NWA, to clear and also to support in our assessment efforts and distribution efforts. In Manchester, We see where there's a total of 86 assessments having been completed so far. There, we have been able to move around more. So there's about more than 500 food packages distributed, 55 tarpaulins, 44 hygiene kits, 11 mattresses, water and other things also being distributed in that area. Several farmers too, so water boots have also been.
No, cost if you don't want cost. Me there cost yesterday when me there listen. If you don't want cost free to be cost if you don't want cost.
Distributed. The parish is still affected though by intermittent heavy rain we find and the lack of electricity and poor telecommunication.
Wait, they call one open name and Global Medic never call. You wait, they may have more for play for at this man and I go cost.
Makes it challenging. For Clarendon, there's significant damage in the southern section of that parish, especially Portland Cottage, Rocky Point, Mitchelltown, Canaan Heights, Palmer's Cross, and others, many others. There are multiple communities that are now being assessed with ongoing distribution of more than 700 food packages, 190 tarpaulins, 125 mattresses, and several hygiene kits and water. Lastly, for St. Catherine, extensive assessments are now underway across all of the constituencies in St. Catherine, with substantial relief supplies being distributed. We have more than 300 food packages there and several tarpaulins and mattresses and hygiene kits. Let me just conclude by just highlighting the invaluable support of our international development partners. The United Nations, the World Food Program, Inter-American Development Bank, USAID, and UNICEF, to name a few, have offered assistance in various forms, including technical support, supplies, cash transfers, and logistical aid, amongst others. So we are working with them through the structured programs that are already set up for us to ensure that there is as effective and productive coordination of this relief effort. Ladies and gentlemen, family, we understand your frustration. We understand that several children are now.
Colonel Charles Jr. used the word family. How much Platalania and your papa and your sister Tifa and Jamaican people now come call Jamaica people family? When you call Dana Dixon the way. Call Dana Dixon and tell Dana and Shelly Coran sell wig Dana Dixon. Shelly Coran is here this morning, Miss Dixon. And Shelly Coran sell wig. I need not to say anything more, Miss Dixon. Shelly Coran sells wig. That's all I need to say. I don't need to say another word.
Scared. Understand that several elderly and seniors are concerned about their medicines, concerned about where they are staying tonight. We are working assiduously on the go 24 hours a day to make sure that we can provide you with as much relief as possible. As Minister Mackenzie said, as our Prime Minister said, we are working across government, one government, collaborating as best as possible to provide as much support to the people of Jamaica. We're committed in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security to leaving no one behind. And so we want to encourage all Jamaicans, particularly those who may be in a better position, to join in the work of rebuilding this nation. If you can assist, reach across. Do not wait for a neighbor to ask. Many need the support, but cannot muster up the voice to say, please help me. This is the time for you to step up and to lead in your community. This is the time for you to reach across, open your eyes, open your ears, and understand what giving is about. So I want to encourage you all, those who can volunteer, get out of your house and volunteer. Those who have supplies that can be donated, this is the time, not next week, today. Those who can offer their skills and expertise to help in this rebuilding effort, this is your opportunity, this is your platform. One family, one community, one Jamaica. We understand the challenges faced by several. I want to remind you before I leave of the phone numbers. If you need any assistance, we're asking for you to reach out to your local parish office at the Ministry of Labour and Social Security or to contact the ministry 876-922-8000-9. That's 876-922-8000-9. As you can also contact us. Several persons have been contacting us through social media channels, particularly those who say, listen, we hear that you are here, but you have missed us. We are listening to you. Even if we don't respond immediately, we have that information and we are acting on that information. Let me close by just extending again the gratitude on behalf of the government of Jamaica to all the dedicated teams working tirelessly in the field, and to our international partners and to our friends here who are working together as one for us to rebuild and to emerge stronger from this disaster. Thank you. One love.
I know when I bring these information, it agitates someone. Let me tell you why it's important. Some of you don't listen to them on the mainstream media, and unless we take the backgrounds over here, some people don't hear it. But it's important so we hear the lie where them are tell. It's very important. Them lies irritating. Them lies wind way up. Them lies make we head one chip and make we want ghetto and behind zinc fence like spice. But sometimes we have to draw back and calm down and listen to them because it will become useful.
Ministers, permanent secretaries, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As you can hear my voice, I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm just giving a quick report as to where we are in terms of our post-disaster assessment. Our post-disaster and damage assessment, we started that activity immediately after the passage of Hurricane Beryl, when the all clear was given. The team has gone out into the southern parishes. We extended our assessment from St. Thomas all the way along the southern coastline and also into St. James. We have now completed our activities in St. Thomas, and we are now focusing mainly in the most affected areas. The damage assessment, as I said, is being done along the southern side, and the team is working out of the National Emergency Operations Center, and that is being coordinated in its totality by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. So the team include in the current damage assessment outside of the other sectors that are being assessed, the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, the National Emergency GIS team, which is the Geographic Information Science team. We also have some international support within the NEOC in terms of the damage assessment, the initial damage assessment that we're doing, which include the World Food Program, USAID, BHA. We have support from the Jamaica Defense Force and the Jamaica Fire Brigade providing drone support. So we're using all the technologies now that we have at our disposal to ensure that we're getting adequate information to influence our damage assessment. We also did very early after the passage of the hurricane aerial reconnaissance assessment, which was supported by the Jamaica Defense Force, and the ODPEM team was a part of that. The areas being assessed are being mapped extensively by our National Emergency GIS Response Team, and that will help to influence and compile the report, that the overall damage assessment report that will be submitted to my minister, Honorable Minister Mackenzie. And also in terms of going forward after that information is submitted and onto the cabinet, to also influence what is called our DALA report, which is a damage and loss assessment report that is always compiled by the Planning Institute of Jamaica after we have been impacted by a major system. So the PIOJ would take that and assess all sector information and compile that in our overall assessment.
Therefore, the Prime Minister's running around the country after the hurricane assessing is useless political propaganda because it does nothing to the damage or financial assessment for what has happened. So it was just a propaganda pitch, an election ploy.
Report for the country. We concentrated our efforts on a lot of the impacted communities, especially out in St. Elizabeth, given that St. Elizabeth is the most impacted area. Yesterday and the day before, the team went out into Southfield, St. Elizabeth, we went out into Ballards Valley, Treasure Beach, Malvern, in Clarendon, we were in Rocky Point, Long Hill in St. James. There was some impact as well in St. James, even though not spoken to highly. Long Hill, Anchovy, Mount Airy, Chester Castle in St. James, White House, Westmoreland, Belmont, Westmoreland, and
how to kill all mosquitoes in the area, and
trying to ensure that all the information is collected, all the impacted communities are visited and assessed, so we can get a true picture as to what has happened, so that can influence our damage assessment and our post-disaster needs assessment. So that is it for me now. That's all I have to say this morning. And the assessment continues, and we will keep you updated as to where we are with the process. Thank you very much.
Distributed. Remember that each care package has enough food for a family of 4 that can last for 4 days. And you heard about the tarpaulin and the mattress distributions on the part of government. I should note that care packages aren't only being distributed by government because the government uses its network. So sometimes some of the care packages are given to Food for the Poor or to the Salvation Army, and they distribute on behalf of the government. So not all of it goes out from the Ministry of Labor team. You also heard of the use of drone technology in terms of doing the damage assessment. The JDF has been helping. They've been doing aerial shots so that we can pick up where roofs are damaged and other damage to infrastructure aerially too.
Shelly Coran sell wig. Wig by Shelly Coran. Type it in your Google there at Morris Dixon. Or go over Instagram on the Insta generation. Wigs by Shelly Coran.
So we're using a lot of technology as a part of this assessment. And then on the ground, you have Ministry of Labor going house to house and actually documenting who has been affected. And that's very important work because as we said, and as the Prime Minister said yesterday, that any kind of recovery assistance has to go to those who have been damaged. And so the work that's being done on the assessments and the house-to-house assessments is critical because that's what will feed into the distribution of any kind of resources. Also, yesterday, there was a call that I was on with our international development partners. There were 55 people on that call from different entities. So all these entities around the world want to help. And what we're doing is making it as coordinated as we can so that we can get that assistance here. And so I'm going to hand over to our lovely press secretary, Naomi Francis, to do the questions from the media.
Good morning, Minister. Morning, everyone. And Minister, you're so kind. Thank you so much. Just ahead of getting the questions from on the floor from reporters here, just following up on the point you made last, Minister, there is a question concerning exactly what the needs are for those who would like to assist. Is it mostly tarpaulins, clothing, so that they'd be able to find a central place to send it to possibly?
Sure. We have developed a needs list, and that needs list was developed with the Ministry of Health, with the Ministry of Labor, with Ministry of Local Government and ODPEM. And right now it's not really closed. It is, for example, we need a lot of food items, which we have put on a separate list, and we have local distributors who are actually wanting to support food, and we're putting in a mechanism today in order to receive that food. We have things for the agricultural sector, which is key. They need a lot of assistance, from seeds to irrigation systems to rebuild what they have. All of our greenhouses in St. Elizabeth were destroyed, all of them.
And so we would need equipment to rebuild that. So what we will do is we'll work with our Amber Group friends to have the needs list placed on the website. So anyone who needs it, and remember the website is disasterrecovery.opm.gov.jm, so that anyone, anywhere in the world who wants to assist will assist with the right items, because sometimes, you know, you may want to help and you send something that's not necessarily needed right now. And so it's important that you follow the needs list.
Thank you, Minister. All right, let's go to Mahiri.
Morning, Mahiri Stewart from Nationwide News here. Seeing that we are now 1 week removed from the passage of Hurricane Beryl, question to both ministers at the stand. Is there any aspect of the government's relief plan or response to the hurricane that you believe could be fine-tuned or improved in the event that Jamaica is hit with another harsh weather system at any point this year or even next?
Well, the answer to that is that
listen to Joe Biden.
We will use the lessons from this one to improve going forward. And I think that that is important, because it is going to be difficult for you to plan in advance of a disaster. But what we can look at is the systems that work.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? It is difficult for you to plan ahead of disaster. Difficult. Did you hear that? So what we have under the for then? Our condolences, Monica. Our condolences from Global TV. It's hard, he said, to prepare. You need to go back and listen to Carlos' show. Which day, Debbie? Which day? Monday. Monday and Tuesday. You need to go back and listen to Carlos' show Monday and Tuesday, sir. If you think you cannot prepare for the disaster before it comes, go back and listen to Carlos.
And if you ask me how much of the system work, I would say 9 out of 10 of what we put in place work. So we will improve.
90% of what the government put in place work. What, though, did the government put in place is the question. And will they tell us?
Move on that. And I believe also what is going to be important is that we are going to be looking to expand our public education. It was not lacking, but I think the more we develop and encourage and educate will help us to improve in the areas.
Oh, you want me to answer too? All right, seeing it from maybe a different angle, I agree that this is a government and an administration that is always wanting to improve. And so we learn from every single situation that we have and we make it better. And remember, we went through COVID and we learned a lot through COVID, and a lot of the mechanisms we put in place in terms of relief came out of the learnings of COVID. And so, of course, with this one, we're going to learn even more and be better at it. I think one of the things we're going to have to look at is definitely in terms of
a lot of the mechanism of relief that we put in place, learn from what we learned in COVID. Explain, please. That was what an examiner would have said to you in a feedback if you give them this on an exam paper. Explain. That's all they would have said to you. Explain.
Technology, how we use technology more. One of the things that has hampered a lot of our work as government has been the lack of communication and the coverage from our partners. And we are speaking, as you know, to Digital and Flow on that area. A lot of them were dependent on JPS for electricity. We have to look at how we have other electricity generation facilities that are in place. And so that's one area. We have to look at other areas.
You don't understand when I say it's annoying to listen to these people, but it's important to listen to what they say. For they know, say you go car news and you spread fake news. COVID, lockdown, pandemic, and an earthquake. Not earthquake, sorry, a hurricane versus a pandemic and lockdown. Me don't know how the learnings of one help you in the other. But as an examiner, explain, Miss Dixon.
Areas of communication, how we build redundancy. So if the mobile network is down, what else can we do? And we actually have offers of assistance from overseas for mobile type units that could be deployed in an area that loses connectivity. So there's some key lessons that we've learned, and especially it's just making the system more robust. Because as you saw, Hurricane Beryl was offshore. And look at all the damage. If one does come on shore, you can imagine what that would be like. And so we're thinking in that kind of mindset.
Thank you, ministers. One of the good things that have come really is the fact that we stream this event. And so journalists who are not here have the opportunity to send their questions in. And I do have one from IRIA FM, one from RJR Gleaner, and another, I'll tell you soon who that person is. So the one from IRIA FM is looking to verify the actual number of persons who have died really as a result of Hurricane Beryl. Minister Bartlett had mentioned also their follow-up is we saw where 2 elderly persons also died after or during Beryl, a woman in Dumfries, as Minister Bartlett had pointed out, and a man from Manchester who the wall fell on him. So in preparation for future major events, what will be done to better protect the elderly?
Well, the numbers that we have, which we are aware of, that 3 persons would have lost their lives during the passage of the hurricane. I believe that we will improve in that area where you speak about the elderly. What we have done is that we have a database of elderly persons in various communities across the country, and we pay special attention to those persons. Now, in the case of one of the persons, I understand that attempts were made, but the person did not respond to the request to be relocated. But it is unfortunate, and as I said before, those are areas that we will continue to improve on. But if the truth be told, is that there has to be a greater appreciation of the dangers that we face during any natural event. We must take some personal responsibility. And, you know, when people are out in the middle of a hurricane playing football, it tells you, you know, it speaks how much we are not understanding the danger that we create for ourselves and other persons.
Thank you, Minister. Before I get back to the floor, a question from RJR Gleaner Group. What assessment of the productivity loss as a result of Hurricane Beryl, what does that look like, and who is responsible for coordinating that?
That assessment will be done with the RPM working with the PIOJ, because the PIOJ is the entity that does that overall national assessment on the effects of the disaster. And they have already started using their systems to put that in place. And once that is done, the PIOJ will make that presentation to government.
All right, thank you, Minister. For the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, is there a dollar value so far to the care packages that have been given? And what level of assistance, I think this may be in dollar value too, has been given to the parish of St. Elizabeth in particular?
All right, we are not able to tell you specifically what parish, but what I can tell you is that so far, and these are approximate figures, and please understand that we are in response mode, and the government has been providing the resources. Unfortunately or unfortunately, we are not focused on the dollar value. So I will give you approximate figures. So far within the ministry, we have spent over 50 million providing care packages and the lines of credit. We have spent in terms.
Annie Jones, I understand. We must learn to tolerate the nonsense of these people. How are we going to ever know what they said? How are we going to ever know when they're lying? We have to listen to some of them sometime, believe you me. Me cuss yesterday, me cuss and carry on. Me understand. We no cuss and get it out of our system. But we have to listen. We have to let the public be aware of the lie. That's when they come in an election and tell we how good they do. We can refer back to some of what they said. We set them up, don't worry.
Terms of tarpaulins and mattresses, and about to spend another $15 to $20 million. And these are approximate figures so far. There will be more that will be spent, because as we speak, we do have more things being ordered. We also have donors, which we have not even begun to factor in those amounts. Thank you.
Thank you, PS. That's PS Collett Brisbane. PS, also the element, I beg your pardon, Minister, of...
What may not have been clear to you in her argument when she was asked about the dollar value and transparency. My understanding is she has said the way we're in a recovery mode at the moment and everything just a fly over our heads. So we can't even keep a track on the dollar value. How are we going to have transparency and accountability if everything a fly over on our head so fast and can't keep track on the dollar value? And see how the money laundering and bill up people on have to listen. It's painful, but on have to listen at the money laundering scheme and bill up. I want to know
the level of assistance too. I think they wanted to hone in on the parish of St. Elizabeth, I believe, as well.
All right. Based on what Minister had reported for the parish of St. Elizabeth, we have provided somewhere in the region of about, I think it's somewhere in the region of about 400 care packages. I don't have it up here with me.
Let me check for you.
I think it was about 300 tarpaulins.
No, this woman is coming to a media briefing to talk about the relief effort in the hurricane, and she don't have it up there with her. Oh, the money laundering scheme is building up. Pay attention. Not too easy to get disorientated. Pay attention. The money laundering scheme are built up.
And over 100 mattresses for the parish of St. Elizabeth. And that's not complete. It is ongoing. And we do have a lot of donors, NGOs working in specific areas. What I am explaining is actual GOJ expenditure. So a lot more is being spent in the parishes.
Thank you so much, PS.
And also the ADPEM would have also spent a significant amount in relief supplies, over some $15 million so far would have been spent by the ADPEM, and they are in the process of procuring more goods and services to provide assistance in the areas that are required.
Thank you, Minister.
A question to Minister Mackenzie. How would you gauge or rate the performance of the country's councillors and mayors in light of the passage of Hurricane Beryl?
Well, I must tell you that the response of the municipal corporations have been good. All the mayors and the councillors have been very proactive They played a critical role, especially amongst the homeless population. Their drain cleaning program was also good, and based on the information that we have been getting in. So I would say that the response of the municipal corporations, all our shelters were managed, and the shelter managers were all in place. The disaster coordinators working out of the municipal corporations, working with the ADPEM, was on the ground. So I would rate the performance of the elected representatives very highly in the response to the hurricane, before and during and after.
Ministers, I have one from a media entity here, but I think it primarily is more agriculture, but maybe you can also weigh in on the issue of insurance. So the question is, how many farmers have taken up the crop insurance coverage, and to what extent crop insurance and fisherfolk insurance will take care of some of the losses? But I think that's primarily agriculture. But the wider question they're also asking, which is the third question, is what's going to happen to get more people to take up insurance, whether of their homes or crops or otherwise, especially because we are right in the dead center of a hurricane season?
That's a very good question. And it's something that as government we're looking at. And as you know, for government, we have done more national type insurance policies like CRIF, where you saw that we got a payment from that, because we do recognize that a lot of our farmers, a lot of our poorer Jamaicans really don't have the finances to take out insurance. And as government, we recognize that we have to care for everyone, including those who cannot afford insurance. And so those macro policies that we do with big organizations are really geared towards having a buffer, not just for the roads and other infrastructure, but also for those who could not afford insurance. But we do encourage everyone to get insurance in Jamaica. It is something that's very valuable in terms of preserving wealth for individuals, and we encourage it. And the Ministry of Agriculture has been working to look at new parametric policies which would pay out small payments if there is wind above a particular amount or a particular level of water. And as government, we are continuing to look at those more micro policies, because one of the things in terms of the insurance community and also the Ministry of Finance that's been looked at is that issue of micro insurance, especially targeting those who cannot afford a big policy. They have small ones and it pays out irrespective of the level of damage. It gives a payout. And so we're continuing that kind of work, looking at more innovative policies, working with the international insurance interests in Jamaica and overseas to get as much of that in place. And we encourage it, because that's the reason why we are confident that we can do the rebuilding, not just because of our international partners, but because we've been able to get some payouts from the policies government has done. And as government has done, we're saying to the Jamaican community, if you can, please take advantage of insurance policies that are in existence.
Thank you, Minister. I have a question from a member of the diaspora who is really asking for a step-by-step walkthrough if there is the possibility of doing online donation through the website. So I see Mr. Sabadi here that maybe would be able to help.
In terms of the website, you can go on it, and it's disasterfund.opm.gov.jm, disasterfund.opm.gov.jm. And when you go on that site, you will see a donate button, and you click on that donate button, and it will take you to a field that will ask you for your information, your name, your address, your email address, and you will then be taken to a secure site in order so that you can use your credit card or your debit card, and you can donate. And that those.
Welcome to the epicenter for money laundering in the office of the Prime Minister. The epicenter for money laundering. The Ponzi scheme gathering in Jamaica, housed by Andrew Holness, Ruel Reid, Lee Chin, and all the other big boys.
funds will go directly to ODPEM to facilitate the recovery efforts and buying more care packages and so on. And so anyone from the diaspora, it's a very simple process. And there's a nice surprise at the end. You get an email from a special person at the end of doing this to show how grateful the entire Jamaica is. It's a seamless process. I do know, Press Secretary, if I could, there are many Jamaicans in the diaspora who want to donate. They are reaching out to our missions, to the high commissions, the embassies around.
Not a sand grain. Just like how them take the $65 million and go enrich themselves and the Jamaica taxpayer never see a grain a dust from the foundation when them dig. Not a penny. Not a penny, diasporans, not a penny. Not a penny, diasporans. Walk and sing it, not a penny. Not a penny, diasporans, not a penny. It's a government Ponzi scheme and a money laundering center. Them a group up round with to enrich themselves out of a disaster. One day if the integrity, corruption, protection body, I go protect them from the Ponzi scheme when all of this over and money just fly left, right, and center. So, like how we fly left, right, and center in a Dr. Tufton office during COVID, a government Ponzi scheme, the epicenter for money laundering in the office of the Prime Minister.
Around the world trying to assist. Please note that you can reach out to those missions. They will give you some support in terms of the needs list. They all have the needs list. And so they can help you to understand what is best for you to send to Jamaica. When you are sending it to Jamaica, it's going to be very important that you share the manifest so we know what is coming in so that customs can more seamlessly clear it on your behalf. We have special facilities at customs. We know Jamaicans are going to want to send things home for the recovery effort. And so customs has started and implemented a process to make it smoother for relief items to come into the country. So we're doing everything on our side to facilitate it. And we know our diaspora really want to support us, and we thank them in advance for all that they will do to help us to build back even stronger.
Thank you, Minister. I have a final question, and I'm seeing it just play out a little bit on X in particular. So I'll ask Minister Mackenzie, when is the government, according to these persons who are going back and forth, when is the government coming to Eastern and Western Jamaica?
Well, that is on the card for various ministers to come. I have a schedule that is filled starting from Friday. So we are visiting all of the areas that are affected.
And if I may, in the report that you would have received from the Ministry of Labor, they were very clear that they've been doing assessments, and this is house-to-house assessments. They've been in every parish. And one of the things that was very instructive to see from their report was St. Mary, Trelawney, Portland, St. Thomas being very, very much prominent in areas that have significant damage. So it may not have been widespread, but in some areas and with some people, they have lost a lot. And so our social workers are out there. So the government is there. Minister Mackenzie, who is coordinating everything, may not be in every parish and can't be in every parish right now and hasn't been able to, but our social workers are out there. All of them are going door to door, taking information on what has happened. And we already have quite a lot of information on those assessments. And as you heard, 2,000 household assessments have already been done. That means the government has gone to 2,000 different homes across Jamaica, where we know there has been damage, to identify what they need, what their food needs are, what their rebuilding needs are. So we are out there, and you will start seeing Minister Mackenzie out there more with his schedule on the weekend. Oh, thank you. And so thank you, Minister Mackenzie. It's nice to be up here with you. and for everyone.
Hey, balam, 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 bim, badam, 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 bim, bing, bang, badada, de, 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 brata, dang, dang. Hey, you don't say we're a fool. we are trained fools. We have a fool make them talk to us. So. We have a fool make them grin at we when them talk to us. So. But you can't say Dana Dixon don't know how to tell lie. Dana Dixon just know how to calm news. Dana Dixon just know how to carry news. She don't know how to tell. Is Shelley Coran still here? You're a businesswoman, Miss Coran. If Dana Dixon don't reach out to you, reach out to Miss Dixon and introduce your product. Wigs, Miss Dixon, by Shelley Coran. Wigs by Shelley Coran. That's all I need to say. Nothing more. Wigs by Shelley Coran. Because boy, me I tell you, when them people are ready to tell you pretty lie and sweet lie, if you don't know better, you fall for everything what they tell you. What is being done for the people on the ground? 2,000 homes over a week now. It's woefully inadequate for a government to come tell you, sir, because of one social worker, a constituency them have. One dege total social worker will have to jump over line and a crawl under tree and a swim through full pothole, woefully inadequate. Woefully inadequate. The deadbeat them where you have in the public service. The deadbeat. The deadbeat people them where you have, the deadbeat bureaucrat them where you have sit down in these ministries doing nothing. Why you don't send them out to assist the coordination of the relief effort by documenting people's and damaged properties? Baba Bethune Dunce. Backer class Roy Mark your book Dunce. You have all failed. You did not pre-plan and you are post-confused because to know there's not a proper coordinated relief effort going on across the country. Piecemeal by piecemeal. Look at one of our sent extra support into St. Elizabeth. The worst hit area. Anybody understand disaster preparedness? Fools, dunce, failed Jamal school, never learn anything on the street. St. Elizabeth would have been the first place you put in all your manpower, logistic, and resources. Majority of it. But no, it was rather more politically expedient for the Prime Minister to flew to St. Elizabeth without a bottle of clean water. If you go fly around and shake on your damn hand shouldn't pop off. Your hand shouldn't pop off. Flying around the country, shaking hands, making promises. But even the 5 million you promised to MPs before the hurricane, still not in their hand. You still come back, Prime Minister, come even promise more. When them a go get it? Because, Prime Minister, without them having the money on the ground to pay for all of the different things them need doing, how the relief effort is going to benefit Jamaicans on the ground while the Prime Minister is flying around, creating his optics to come and tell us at the election campaign, this is a caring government. We were the first. I personally made it a point of view to come out there and see you the minute it was safe to do so. I was there with you on the ground. This government care about poor people. That's all you were doing, Prime Minister. Not even if town they are burned down, nobody couldn't call you and get through to you. If it's a Prime Minister, town are burned down. Because the vlogger of a Prime Minister that you were going around the country getting your best and first clips of the disaster. The money, Prime Minister. The money, Prime Minister, when Floyd Green I go get to the whole of St. Elizabeth and mash up. A whole constituency has been destroyed, been damaged. When Floyd Green I go get the money, Prime Minister. We want in the crocus bag full like a hoe no thief. So we want to throw money at Floyd Green. Throw it like sand grain, just like one on our thief, because he needs it. I wonder if him a go thief any out of it, because he has to for him name there call up in a illicit enrichment and like a whole 2 more illicitors added. I wonder, we know Dr. Tufton a thief. His track record was laid bare in front of us. We know Dr. Tufton is a thief. We know Andrew Holness is king of stealing. Never mind the queen sitting next to the king. Uno can stretch land. Uno can stretch the size of land if we don't want to. 700 million to go and buy votes and run election campaign. 5 million, 70 million per MP to go and fight election campaign. Buy votes, buy gas put in a car, rent car, give them runners, buy t-shirts and caps, pay them runners to go draw out people and coerce people. 5 million though. 5 million per MP in a disaster when their constituency was picked up and thrown around by Beryl. 5 million. It's not yet in their hands. Don't know when they're going to get it. And we don't know when they're going to reach on the ground to the people to help with the relief effort. A Ponzi scheme, an epicenter for money laundering, gathering around us in the middle of disaster. Did they not do it in COVID? Did they not do it in Gilbert and Ivan? What is going to stop them this time? It will be a hullabaloo because they're getting more in the millions from Yasso, Deso, over Yasso. And they're coming to beg those who do not have standing. They're coming to beg those who are traitors. They're coming to beg those who are bringing down that brand Jamaica. What are the brand Jamaica people them there? Brand Jamaica people, oh, storm just blow through one of them. What are you doing to the people for the people of Jamaica? Brand Jamaica people. Hold on, not take with a fool. Hold on, not take with a fool, you know. When you say dope bat with me, national dope bat, where a teller in Leaching Bank can empty the chest, walk through the door with it. Money in account grow wings and foot in Leaching's bank. Yes, this same Leaching that will be doing the money washing, hallelujah. This Leaching that will be doing the money washing in the Ponzi scheme. Yes, that Leaching. Won't the money just get up, grow foot, and walk out time bank, grow wing, and fly out time bank. Leaching never even see when it move. That Leaching will be the washer. It will wash, ladder, and rinse all these money that the whole of the big boys them are group up and are gather up on their Ponzi foundations and charities and marities and efferys. The gang is out on the loose. The old boys from Monroe College who ripped through the education budget like Beryl ripped through Monroe College. Them a group up round way, and they have them money washer sit down and wait. This money washer. Well, when this money washer, I give friend them and I donate to the hilt of the devil. These Bill Gates friends, when they're donating to the hilt of the devil, they can scrape millions in Canadian and US dollar. But then you see him junk jar break in your character, Lee Chin. I come to the Jamaican diaspora with your rich Ponzi scheme. I come look, $3 million, Lee Chin. Have you ever had a sit down with Bill and Hillary? Were you provided any favors by Jeffrey Epstein Lee Chin? Hold on, gather them. Gather, mother, gather the thief them. Gather, mother, gather the thief them. Gather round, money they have to make. Money they have to make. See, Azan and him picking them fly. Go whoa yonder. Go keep safe. And come back, come tell we say, look at Unu and look at we. Look at Unu and look at we, said the Azans. Everybody take liberty away. Because we sit down and wait for superstition. I won't even start this morning. Superstition. Everybody take with your fool. Everybody take with your plating. Everybody make them name and them wealth half away. And we still sit down round corner. A bata. Everybody. Look upon who come a beg. Those who have stolen more than they can carry. Those who have stolen more than they can carry. And them come a beg, you know. Hey, them come a beg. And them come a beg. Yes, them come a beg. I don't know how Jamaica call us not come up with one song yet. For all of this here we are going. All of this here we are going. And Jamaica call us don't come up with a song all now. We never see something like this. Me say if we not ever see something like this, a song is needed. A song get to the people them faster and easier. Call us. A song is needed. Don't know so I go on. Gather, mother, gather. That I go around ya. Everybody a lock in round way. Everybody a make sure them build the thing. Because they are collecting legitimately. They are collecting legitimately. They have their legitimate washer. So none of them now go through no investigation for money laundering because they have their legitimate washer. And they collect it legitimately. But did it trickle down legitimately to the people who you've collected on their behalf? Did it trickle down to them? Or did it trickle up to your wealth management scheme? Did it trickle up to your wealth management scheme, or did it trickle down to the people on the ground? A money laundering scheme. Wake up, Jamaicans. A money laundering scheme has been created right around, you know. Money I go wash left, right, and center, right around, you know. people are going to become millionaire out of the disaster we uno go to right around uno. Uno going to make them enrich themselves out of another disaster. Ask Dr. Tufton how much millionaire he created. Hallelujah. Ask Dr. Tufton how much millionaire Dr. Tufton created in the 2 years of COVID. Ask him, how much millionaires, Dr. Tufton, did you create during the swishing and slashing of the healthcare budget? The how much unaccounted for billions, Dr. Tufton? How much millionaires, Dr. Tufton, did you create out of COVID? We know Nigel no fool when him a walk and create millionaire out of tax administration. Even those who came in as millionaire, Nigel will look upon them and say, look, man, you don't have enough more money there. You don't have enough more money there. So make we enrich with further rich friend and take Jamaica people money and just fling it them so. How much millionaires did you create, Dr. Tufton, between 2020 to 2022, Dr. Tufton, Doctor of Death? How much millionaires did you create? And how much Jamaica? We don't know, say, Desmond McKenzie is the minister. Beat and teach not about there this morning. Me not say Anthony or me not Lord Jamaica. No, my case put on the people them light now. Desmond McKenzie is the minister of local government. Desmond McKenzie is highly involved and has portfolio over a lot of what is going on throughout Jamaica at the moment. Desmond McKenzie is also the king of kickback in our parliament and in our political system. Do you understand how Desmond McKenzie stands to enrich himself with so much money that will be running through Desmond McKenzie's department? Do you really understand what is going to happen with all these contracts awarded by Desmond McKenzie? How your money will be spent by Desmond McKenzie? Desmond McKenzie, as is called, the king of kickback, a very corrupt once mayor of Kingston. Do you all understand the encirclement of the criminals around you? I don't think you understand what is about to go down. I don't think you all understand the looting and shooting. The looting and shooting that will be going down in our country by our uptown class and our political class, as well as our business class. It will be a looting and shooting. The only victim in this looting and shooting is the poor, ravished people of Jamaica, who was already in dire strait and now is turned upside down by the hand of God. But the disaster relief that has been given to the people, I guarantee you, will not get to majority of Jamaicans on the ground and will not be dealt with transparency, nor will we have accountability from them what them promise with. If they cannot settle on the amount of shelters across the island, if they cannot settle on the amount of shelters across the island, my God, what else are we going to be misformed on or about? What else? We're not going to misinform we about. If we're already so misinformed just on the numbers for the what you call it, shelters. If we're so misinformed, that's so. Imagine the rest of everything. I am told some care package was delivered in my community yesterday. Across the country, across St. Elizabeth, it's going too slow. The generator galanging, it costs a lot of people an arm and a leg at the moment. It wastes more money than JPS, me not tell lie. And that's why I'm pushing for solar panel. Because if you have business and have to run your generator 15, 20 hours for the day, you're going to need about $4,000 worth of gas for the day to run your generator. It is breeding St. Elizabeth people at the moment. The faster on the work, forget with power back on stream, you will help the economy of St. Elizabeth. Hey, don't even bother talk about that. This expose in 50 years, Jamaica is still not ready, because if 60 years of independence and we're gone backwards, because we get less access to water and less cleaner water, we have gone backwards. In 50 years, we're not going to be ready for a cashless society. Even before the disaster, Jamaica was just not equipped, because you can't sit down comfortable upon your veranda anywhere Jamaica make a phone call in a lot of communities. You have to choose one spot in the yard where you find reception. So the cashless society never not workable from the start. But the way how the Prime Minister was pushing us into the cashless society, what if we did go along with him and then did roll we into the galangin? How Jamaican would not manage now? In the internet and power blackout, how Jamaican would not manage now when government still can't get to a lot of Jamaicans with relief? I wonder how Jamaican would not manage now when they're going to have to go turn on their phone and pay through the something or another, their digital wallet. No, sir. Does it not expose the incompetency and the recklessness of this government when them are going to take foreign people agenda, push pan uno, something when not even yet capable of foreign we have good internet most places, Kind of everywhere internet good. But when the Prime Minister did tell us, say, cash will soon be a thing of the past. The idea, he said, of a person serving you in the bank will be a thing of the past. You have to get used to the robotization, the Prime Minister said. But as he lies every time his mouth opens, he tried to walk it back blindly. But then again, we know how in turn. Are you going to wake up, Jamaica? Are you going to wake up? And do you expect it to change without you waking up? The change you're asking for, Jamaica, it is within you. That change will come from you, the people of Jamaica. For 60 years of what's it, independence, we have been given the same promises over and over, and we have not seen the improvement. We're really mad to expect government to do better. The duty is for us to do better. And I guarantee you, until we the people do better, nothing will change. Not 1 inch of it. Jamaica is the first independent country to have a catastrophe ban. We need to look deeper into this ban. Everything experiment is tried on us. Anyway, my people, we're going to overtime this morning. And not to give me over likes because not about 200 and I hit the like button. I want to get overtime and I see on the turn bad. You see how on the turn bad. Want to not hit the like button. I can't hit the like button still. A long time they attack. Long time they attack for free. So they could have just hit the like button. I don't bother. Me I don't get in a no wrangle tangle. We and the thief them in a enough wrangle already. We and the thief them in a enough wrangle already. Don't make me and get in a no wrangle over the little likes. Just hit the like button. It don't charge, you know. I bet if me look how much on, because I hope on Jamaican government friends and high, hope on stush high heel, bush blash people. I hope on them are go rob, you know. Because I hope on the diasporans people believe in them and believe in the officiality of them. Them are go rob holy pound. We are preach, but I know all I know we can't help. Me say we are preach, but I know all of we can't help. We know them are go rob on. Someone just roll over so and beg to be robbed. We're asking you, stand firm from the looting and shooting of this government. Una diaspora, we not have standing. Una diaspora, we are traitor. Una diaspora, we commit treason. Una diaspora, we bring down Grand Jamaica. Not a cent. Not a cent to Andrew Holness, Warren, Reed, Leachin, or any of the big boys. Where come beg. Tell them to go thief. They know where to thief from. Them are class act thieves. Tell them to go thief. And come get to it. Because long time them are thief from we. A long time them are thief from we. So go thief it somewhere, sir. And carry come give it. Thank you all very much for being here this morning, this afternoon on your At a Glance program. This is your station, the Global Television Group. Thank you all very much for being here this morning. Join us back later where we will find some fool to ask them, I make no fool, so. Really? I make no fool, so. Because I know all of we believe, you know. Not all of we. Some of we believe, you know. Because some of we just can't get we head out of the cloud. Some of we can't just get we head out of the backside of tribalism. So some of we believe, you know. Some of we believe, you know. But not all of we. Some of we fool like duck, but we still don't believe, you know. Because the experience we've had with, you know, fool as we be, and all of we believe, you know. Thank you, and good morning from Global Television.